Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a bit special and we're going to be going through my Orochi outfits. I have 3 of them, which I'm sure most of you know by now. I have the Dark Orochi, the Light Orochi, and then the Emperor Orochi. Also here you can see some of my other characters and what reps I am as well. I'm playing a lot of Kyoshin recently. But anyway, basically for this video we're going to go through and I'm going to show you all the different outfit pieces so that if you want to copy them you can do, or if you want to make some different versions of them you can do as well. And I'll also go through some gear score and what perks I like to use for 4 versus 4 as well. Bear in mind that Orochi will soon be receiving his rework, so he might be a choice for 4 versus 4 that you want to do, so knowing some higher gear scores and perks to use might be a good thing for you to know. And another thing before we begin that you may like to know is the awesome mobile game Dragon Champions, which allows you to customize your characters and abilities as well to take onto the battlefield. I have a special promo code available to a maximum of 1,000 people, which will give you access to rewards worth $10, as well as the hero Robin Bad, to give you a kickstart on your journey. You can see your rewards here on your screen now. This cool fantasy game is filled with demons, elves, goblins, pandas, and even half pigs, who you can level up and empower to help you destroy your enemies easily. The cartoon-like 3D graphics are charming and interesting, and the different modes such as the tower and arena will suit any playstyle. The storyline is filled with humour, Easter eggs and pop culture references as well, and the ever-growing community is there to give you a warm welcome and help you stay in touch with the developers for any help that you may need in the game. You can use my promo code by going into settings and typing NOVA2108 to get the $10 of rewards and the Robin Bad hero. Don't forget that you can use the QR code to download the game as well. So with the unique heroes, the campaign, the humour and the turn-based gameplay, I'm sure it won't take you long to love it. I hope you manage to give Dragon Champions a try and have a great time playing it in the future. So then, let's get into it. So I'm nearly rep 70 with Orochi. I'm rep 70 with him on PS4, and this is now PC, and I'm nearly rep 70 with him again. So yeah, a lot of experience with him. Anyway, let's quickly show you progression. So we've got some stats there, and that's about it for that. So customize. Loadout number 1, then we're going to have loadout number 2, and then loadout number 3. So loadout 1, here we go. So this is the one I've used for the longest time. Here's the Dark Orochi, and I think I first used him in about 2018, although when I went to PC I changed the emblem at the top there. You can see the dragon, I changed that around. So appearance, I used the male version. Chest and back, have paint pattern set to nothing, symbol nothing, and embossing I have the dragon, which you get at rep 0 level 19, so you can get that fairly early on. Ornament of course is the regalia of Wyverndale, which you get by earning this year 4 season 1 battle pass. Because this is in the past, I don't think you can get it at the moment. It might come back, who knows, but you can always switch it out for something like that, which you get with the Apollyon's Wolves outfit anyway, or you know, this one's quite cool actually. You can get that by playing random quests. So yeah, you can use that, but I use this one. Material, I use black of course, which you get at rep 7 level 20, and usage is all ticked. Left shoulder is nothing, yet again. Nothing for symbols, and the dragon embossing. You probably see a pattern here. So again, for left side, nothing for paint, nothing for symbol, and dragon embossing. Standards, we have the Apollyon's Legacy 1. Now this is pretty much just, it doesn't actually matter which one you choose. This is just, I just use this one just so it's, you know, there's nothing there, no paint pattern affecting anything, basically it's just blank. But you can't just have nothing for this because otherwise it will end up being white. Symbol, I have my emblem. So I change my emblems based on, you know, what sort of team my Orochi or my other characters are on. So dark team, so dark, sort of dark side is this red and black one. Embossing I have set to nothing, because obviously if you set it there, then it takes off the emblem. Legs I have nothing. Symbol I have nothing. And embossing is the dragon. So probably just a lot easier than you thought, actually. But that is it basically for the appearance wise. And then color, I use the Apollyon color, which is unlocked by playing realistic modes, which comes back every so often. If you don't have that, then you can always just use bleeding, which is down here somewhere. And you get bleeding, I think, at like rep 0 level 18. Yeah, you can use that, and it literally doesn't affect it at all. So you can use that as well. Okay, then let's go into the actual gear. So I use the Sato helm. I use the Elegant Pit Viper chest. And I use the Elegant Pit Viper arms. And the Haoma blade. Apologies if I'm pronouncing any of this wrong. And the Ippai hilt. And the Sakakura guard. And for my perks, I use Devourer, Endurance, and Headhunter. So basically, upon executions, I get an extra 10 health. And then when I gain a Renown level, I get 3% more stamina cost reduction. Maximum 4 gains, so that'll be, what, 12% or something? Yeah, 12%. And then Headhunter, so for every player or bot you kill, or executed, sorry, then you increase your max health by 4. So I've gone for basically you increase your health and increase your stamina over time, the more people you execute. Simple as that. And I would say those are the best 3, but it's up to you, of course, what you want to choose. There might be some better combinations out there. And this is the one I use for 4 versus 4. I don't bother using perks and things or worrying about perks for my other 2 Orochis, just because it costs more steel and salvage. So I just use this one for 4 versus 4, and I have him at 180 gear score as well. Abilities, the feats that I use the Bounty Hunter, which gains health and stamina when you kill another hero, so that goes well with those perks that I just mentioned. Smoke Bomb, it's only until recently I realised how powerful this thing is. Basically it means your enemies can't lock. I mean, it's super annoying to play against, but it's pretty powerful, and Orochi kind of needs it because he's quite weak at the moment, to be honest. Slip Through, it's a passive. When you dodge, it raises your attack for a short duration. Combine this with a deflect, because it's technically a dodge, it actually is quite good for damage. Fear itself, nearby enemies have lower defense, so you can end up doing massive damage with this. You can like combo people out with like just a couple of heavies if they're on the floor or something. Executions, because he's the Dark Orochi, I normally go for like the more brutal executions because it sort of suits the character. So like this one here, this recent one, really harsh. He just drinks the water in front of his face, even though the guy is like dying of thirst, and then he just throws it in his face. Not a nice guy. Not a nice guy. And then I've got a lot of other executions that I've bought over the years as well. So yeah, I've got quite a few actually. Jesus. I used to have literally all of them because I had all of these ones unlocked on PS4. So I might buy some of them in the future as well. Emote, I use the Orochi Coin Toss and the Sylvan Panacea, which I sort of call the Concoction. Actually, this is the only, I think it's the only emote that has 2 different outcomes. So when you drink it, you either get empowered or you either throw up and be sick. So this is showing him get empowered, but he can also be sick as well, which is quite cool. The event that's going on at the moment, Shadows of the Hitakuri, means that you get this emote as well, by the way. I used to have that actually. Signatures, I just use the tree cutting one just because I think it's quite funny. And I've got these ones as well unlocked. Effects, now this is important. I use the Eyebring War effect, which means that I have the Mask of Apollyon, which goes really well with the black and gold that I have on my character. Execution, I've got it on for that as well. free roam, I have it for that as well, and of course on combat, I have it for those combat emotes as well. So that is Dark Orochi. So that's probably going to be the longest I'm going to spend on a character, because I'm going to go through it, because I went through all the different perks and things. But as I said, I use this one for 4. This is 4, so he's the one for the perks. And now I have the Light Orochi. So I have the male Orochi here, of course, and he has a no paint pattern, no symbol, but he does have the dragon embossing, yes again. Ornament, I have the Crowned Conquest one. Now you can get this at any time, there's no time restriction, it wasn't a past event, you can just get it by playing random quests, so unless you're super unlucky, you can get this pretty easily by just repeating and doing those. Material, I have white. I used to have light, which you unlock for free at Rep 9, level 20, but the white just looks better obviously because it's more white and it's more of a good guy character look, I think. And yeah, it does cost 10,000 steel though, I think. So it's quite costly. Again, you need some paint pattern. So for the right hand thing, the right hand shoulder, you need just any paint pattern, just so that it fills the colour in. No symbol, dragon embossing. Same thing on the left side. Just this or any combination. Well, it's got to be something that doesn't use that much black, which is this one. And no symbol and dragon embossing. Standards, same thing. No symbol, no paint. The simple paint pattern that doesn't have any black in it, and no embossing. But I do have the white symbol because this guy is part of the good team. Legs, same thing. Nothing for the symbol and nothing for the embossing, because I preferred not to have it for the embossing. Actually, I prefer it just pure white. And then Winter Woods for the colour. I think there is a full white one that I think you might get during the Ice Brawlers event, but I didn't get that, I don't think. So I use this one anyway, which you can get at any time as long as you're over Rep 5 and level 20. So now then, we shall look at the gear. So the blade, I use the Yakuin blade. I use this one because it's like a slightly straighter sword, so I thought, oh, he's going to be a bit more edgy. I use a different kind of sword. I thought it looked cool. And then the Tonoharu hilt, which is the white hilt, obviously going with the white theme again. And the Tadayoshi guard, which is again white and gold, which goes with the theme. Then we have the Kuroshi helm, which came out a year or so ago. It has these white bits of material hanging down the sides, which obviously when you have the white material, it makes them white. Otherwise, they'll go either red or blue or whatever colour you have on if you don't choose white. And then we have the Tosai chest. I really like this one because it has these little small daggers on the front and back. I'm sure there is an actual Japanese samurai name for them, but it eludes me at this time, so I'm just going to call them daggers. Then the Elegant Pit Viper arms. I've always loved these ones because they just look so much better than all the others, I think. So I think I use these for all my Orochis. Just because some of them just, I don't know. Like that one there, it just makes them look weak, I think. There's just such a difference. I mean, you'd rather, have this guy fighting alongside you with some actual proper armor. So I use that. And then we're back to the sword. Again, the perks are the same, but I use the Dark Orochi always. But I would use the same perks, which I have there if I did use them. So there we go. Abilities, we've been through that with the Dark Orochi, so same feats. Executions, I'll use some more elegant executions because he obviously has the wings, which I'll get onto in a sec. And so yeah, that one I think it looks well with the wings because he's like almost flying. So I will sort of try and match the executions based on the character I'm using and whether they're a good guy or a bad guy kind of thing. Emotes, I use this one, the Sylvan Meditation, because he's a very peaceful, good character. Again, going with the theme, obviously, And then the Concoction again, which is the Sylvan Panacea. And then cut to the chase and twirl well for the combat emotes. Signatures, I use this one. Otto Himi's tail. Again, apologies if I'm butchering the pronunciation of these. And it's important to get the effect right, which is the Messenger's Wings, which anyone can get at any time. They're 5,000 each, so it costs 20,000 to get them for the combat, the idle, the execution, and the free roam. So bear that in mind, it is fairly costly. And that is it for the light Orochi. And now for the final loadout, which is loadout 3, which is my most recent one, which I made a montage about a couple of months ago now, I think. But he is my Emperor Orochi. And I wanted to make him gold because it goes well with the sulfuric sparks, which you get at rep 60. It's an effect that is very, you obviously have to be very high level to get it. And I wanted it to go well with that, so that's why I chose gold as my colour for the Emperor. And also gold is the colour of like a ruler or a royal sort of leader. So let's quickly go through this. So you can have male or female. You can have a, I'll show you actually what the female looks like for this. So yeah, you can have a female Emperor if you want to. Or you can just have that. And you can have whatever skin colour you want. So chest and back, so this is where I actually use some of the paint patterns in the game. So I use the cracked mirror because it has this nice jagged edged triangular pattern, which you get year 4, season 4. Also, I kind of avoid using the paint pattern because I know some people like to copy my outfits, and obviously the more paint patterns and stuff I use, the more you can't copy it, because I know that this is year 4, season 4, and if people join after, then they can't get this, so you'll have to substitute it out for something else. But anything that has sort of a cracked look to it, a sort of jagged edge look, will do fine. The symbol I use is the Floral Frost 3, so you need to be reputation 56 for this. So with my other two Orochis, again, it wasn't just about, you know, the timing and whether you have seasonal effects. It's also about reputation. I didn't with the dark and light Orochi, you don't have to be a high reputation to get some of the stuff, but with the Emperor Orochi, you do. And I kind of thought, well, you know, if you want to be this guy, then you have to be experienced with Orochi. So you will need some high rep stuff if you want to make this guy. So yeah, that's rep 56. Embossing is nothing because obviously it will take it away. And that is the chest and back. The ornament, I have the Avant-Garde medallion, which you need to have played and unlocked through the year 4 season 4 battle pass again. And because he's the Emperor Orochi, I liked the 3 prongs at the top here. I mean, this is just ridiculous, but I sort of thought that, well, you've got light, dark, and then he's like the balance in between. So that's what I thought that kind of was a sort of, I don't know, a symbol for. But you can use something else anyway. You can use maybe, I don't know, that or something. It's like a crown, or this one, which I think looks cool as well. Material, you need the marigold for. Beforehand, I think I just used light brown, which doesn't make too much of a difference. Unfortunately, the marigold was released after I made the montage, so if you watch that, you won't see that in there. But it doesn't look too different if you use light or light brown, which are free. This one again is 10,000 steel. So yeah, you'll need a lot of steel if you want to make these outfits from the go. I think you'll need something like 60,000 because you need the mask, the messenger's wings, and that's 40k in one go. And then you need the white, and you need this, which is an extra 10k plus 10k. So yeah, you need like 60,000 steel if you want to make this. So bear that in mind. Everything's ticked as well. It was for the lighter Orochi as well. Left shoulder, cracked mirror. And then these diamonds as well. Now some people were sort of unsure about the diamonds, and I wasn't sure about them either. But I thought they kind of, obviously they're not really, you wouldn't really have this in a historical samurai, but I kind of thought, well, this guy's going to have some sort of like magic powers or something. So they were kind of like a glowing effect that's blue around him, and I thought it looked well. It looked good with the sulfuric sparks. So I chose to have a two-toned look for the Emperor Orochi, because the other one is fully black and then the second one is fully white, and I thought I don't just want this one to be fully gold, I'll have another colour there somewhere. So that's why I went for those. Without them it looks like that, and I just thought it was a bit too bland, so I decided to go for the diamonds. But you know, I can always change it in the future, who knows. So again, correct mirror for the left hand shoulder, and the diamond for the symbol. It's called Seer of Illusions 1, by the way, if you want the actual name. Standards, cracked mirror 1 again. And then we have my third and final emblem, which is the gold emblem, of course, to go with my gold Orochi. And then no embossing, because it will, as you know, it'll take away the emblem if I choose an embossing. Legs, cracked mirror 1 again for the paint pattern. The diamond symbol, and no embossing. And then colour, I have pumpkin, which you get at rep 4 level 12, because obviously that gives the yellow gold colour. And it'll only really work with that. I don't think there's any other paint pattern that will make it just fully black and gold. So yeah, I use pumpkin. Now for the actual gear, so I use the Honemai helm, and I think for this helm and some of the other gear, like the Elegant Pit Viper stuff, you need to be at least rep 7, but you know, there's some stuff here that you require rep 64 and rep 56 as well, so this will be very early on for you anyway, and not a problem. The chest I have is the Orochi chest, slightly different to the lighter Orochi one. He has some sort of gold and green daggers as well, and also he has the black cloth that wraps around them as well. If I chose like another one, like the Tosai, it's a white cloth. It sort of works, but I think this one looks a bit cleaner and more majestic for our royal Emperor Orochi. Again, with the you see these material pieces on the side here that sort of hang down, so they turn gold when you have a gold paint pattern. So again, it makes his black helmet look a bit more gold to go with the theme. Elegant Pit Viper arms, again I have this for all three just because it just makes such a difference, I think. Yeah, makes a massive difference. I thought, I seriously considered using, where is it, this one here, the Sepeiku arms, because it was fully gold. But I changed my mind again because I just thought they still look so much better. So if Ubisoft bring out some more arms with more armor, then I'll switch it maybe for something like that. But for now, I just think these top everything else. But that's just my personal opinion. I use the Toshiro blade. So that's the darker Orochi one, the Hayoma blade, but I use this one just because it's a bit more elegant. It hasn't got the spikes down near the guard, and it's got this floral pattern, so yeah, a bit more elegant. He's not a dark character, he's sort of in between, he's sort of a light character. So I have that. Then I have the Matsuka hilt, Matsuka hilt, which is a sort of bluey black with white in the center, and then a gold bit at the top as well, which I think looks very nice. Then the Mikasa guard, which is a sort of, I think it's sort of rope or something, and then it's got a sort of some black sort of spikes, or they look like scimitars or something around the sides. Again, looks quite royal and quite majestic. So I have that, and that is the final thing, and then we're back to the Honemai helm. So that is that, and then we go to the abilities and stuff. So feats, again, they're all the same as I always use because I think those are the most powerful. Executions, all the executions I use for this they're all sort of, I use the ones that involve like an army. So because he's the emperor, he has control of an army, of course. So he has the death by arrows and the death by spears. And then one of my all-time favorites, the Rocker no Shi, so the really powerful execution I have for him. And then the Mirage Punishment, which is, I think it's only 1 season old at this point. Because it has a gold, these gold arms that come out the side, it goes well with the outfit, so I chose that for Emperor Orochi. So again, I use the executions which I think suit the character. I don't just use them randomly. So that is that for now. Emotes are the same. Cut to the chase, twirl a whirl. I am war, open for business. So he wants to look nice and powerful, so I gave him that and that. As if he's like, you know, you can see he's in charge and he's like commanding people. And then I use the gold signature there. Otohihimi's tail, if I've said that right. And then effects, of course, as I have mentioned earlier, you need the Sulfuric Sparks effect, which is unlocked at Reputation 60. So you're going to have to commit to this character if you want to use this. And I thought that kind of worked well with the fact that he is the Emperor. You know, you have to commit to be an Emperor, so you have to commit to get the Sulfuric Sparks. And I have that for every single one of these different things here. So free roam, combat, idle, and execution. And that is that. So those are the 3. Those are the trio of Orochis that I have. They're sort of like my main god trio. I have the dark, the light, and then the Emperor, who is like the balance. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this. If you have any questions, just let me know. And if you if you want to see me get to rep 70 with Orochi, leave a comment with that as well. I'll be very soon getting to rep 70 with him. I'm 3 reputations away. So I got a bit distracted with Kyoshin, but yeah, we're nearly there, and that'll be the 2nd time I've got to rep 70 with Orochi. I mean, that is crazy. That is a lot of time I've had to spend with this character. And then it's going to be reworked, so I'll have to learn some other stuff. But that is for another video. So if you enjoyed this, leave a like, and if you want to see more, then please subscribe. I hope you have an awesome rest of the day, and I will see you in the next video. See you later.